Hi dancers, Jess here. Welcome back to the Whole Dancer YouTube channel. I am not going to say it again. Well, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to get consistent on YouTube. If it is the last thing I do, no, it's definitely a goal. And I'm working towards it. I will be fully transparent. My experience right now is just like the truth of life, motherhood, and entrepreneurship when you don't have full-time childcare. That's just the truth. So I'm doing my best to get as many videos out to you as I can, and my goal is to get one out per week. Getting to today's video, I'm going to talk about nutrient-dense eating for dance performance. This is the kind of thing that it can be very important, but something always has to come before it. I'd be like, what do you mean by that? Nutrient-dense eating is a benefit to your dance performance. I'm not going to pretend that it's not. However, if you are in a disordered place with food, if you have an unhealthy or out of balance food relationship, then there is really no point in obsessing over making sure you're eating the most nutrient-dense foods possible. In fact, there's no point in obsessing over it ever. And the only time you can start to prioritize nutrient-dense eating for the benefits it might give to your dance performance is once you've already established a calm and confident and easy relationship to your food. So the focus on the healthiest foods available cannot happen prior to feeling incredibly at ease and balanced with food. And this is a little bit of a tangent, I'm not gonna lie. This is where a lot of nutrition workshops, as summer intensives are coming up, especially at summer intensives, but oftentimes in year-round programs as well, the nutrition workshop is focused entirely on sports performance-based nutrition. There is value to that information. But like I said, if you're not in a good place with food from a food relationship perspective, and so many dancers struggle in that area, then hearing that information about sport performance focused nutrition is not going to help you. This is also why when I connect with schools about giving workshops, that one about sports nutrition is never the first one I would pitch. I think if you want to support your dancers, if you're a dance teacher, studio owner, head of a school, artistic director, any of those positions, and you want to support your dancers in terms of sports nutrition and nutrition for performance, you need to set up a series of workshops where someone comes in and talks through food relationship and body image, and then sports performance nutrition. But just talking about that is not going to be a benefit for most dancers. I want you to first focus on your food relationship. Once your food relationship is in a good place, then I want you to think about your hunger cues and your connection to your body and your food choices in relation to those things. Hunger cues for dancers are hard because much of the messaging we get, especially around things like intuitive eating, is that you need to listen to your body, and your body is going to tell you when you're hungry and when you're full. Well, when you're dancing for hours upon hours a day, your body tends to disconnect from true hunger cues. And there's a physiological reason for this. Our brain tells our body we need the blood in our extremities in order to do the dancing. So we can't get hungry right now because that would require blood to go to the digestive system. Your brain tells your body we can't be hungry during this long stretch of physical activity. And so dancers will go through periods of time, often much too long periods of time, where you're not eating. There's something called practical hunger that I want you to start to practice. Practical hunger is about looking at your schedule and your day and saying to yourself, okay, if I eat breakfast at 8 and I go to company class at 9:30, I'm done at 11. This is gonna be like, it's gonna feel like a math equation. It's not, don't worry. I'm done with class at 11, and then I have rehearsal from 11 to 2, and then I have a lunch break. Okay, so that's what? 8 a.m. breakfast, dancing until 2. 8 to 2 is 6 hours. The ideal time frame between eating is going to be 2 to 4 hours, no more than 5, right? When we get beyond 5, blood sugar is like all out of balance. You probably feel lightheaded and hungry and perhaps dizzy depending on what you ate for breakfast. It's just too long of a stretch. So practical hunger might mean you have breakfast at 8 and then at 9, what? Yes, 1 hour later, you might have a small snack. I mean, it could just be like a banana, okay? Then at 11, when company class is done and you have then rehearsal from 11 to 2, at 11, usually we have, some time putting on point shoes, going to the bathroom, transitioning to the next thing, right? People want to start on time-ish, but you should have at least 5 minutes. Sit down, have some almonds, have a granola bar, have a protein bar, have something so that you're not then going from 9 to 2, 10, 11, 12, 5 hours without eating. Following practical hunger cues is going to allow you to go from meal to snack to meal without there being a need or desire to eat a ton of food at those breaks, right? You'll be able to kind of spread it out in a much more comfortable way for your body and your digestion. So try to start following practical hunger cues. When you are ready, in a good place, good relationship to food, you're feeling good in your body, and you say to yourself, I want to start focusing more on nutrient-dense, sport-focused nutrition, okay? I want you to think about where the intention is coming from. When we're making food choices based out of fear, and when we feel a level of perfectionism around our food choices, this can get into dangerous and disordered territory and can even lead to orthorexia, which is this obsession with healthy eating. Something that I think a lot of us probably at a time we're like, what could possibly be wrong with such a focus in our eating? But it's about where the intention is coming from. If your food choices are coming from a place of fear, that could be indicating that you're in a disordered place. If your food choices are coming from a place of love, well, then you're probably on the right track. I choose the foods that taste amazing to me and that are also nutrient dense and satisfy my wants and needs and nourish my body and satisfy my cravings. That all comes from a place of love. If you are counting and calculating and overanalyzing and thinking things need to follow some sort of math equation, odds are it's coming from a place of fear. I must control my food. I must control my body. I must reach these aesthetic goals. So intention is a huge part of how to make food choices in a supportive way. Once you know that you're approaching food from a place of love and you feel like you're in a balanced place with food, well, that's when you can start to incorporate greater nutrient density into your food choices. You can cook more at home. That's one way to make sure that you're getting more foods that are supportive to your well-being and immunity and injury recovery and just like muscle recovery, all of those things. When you're incorporating sauces and herbs and flavors that you love and enjoy, that's another way to make sure that you're preparing foods that are supporting your well-being and enhancing sport performance. Another way to make sure that you're getting lots of nutrient-dense foods that are supporting your dancing is to focus on variety. So if you tend to eat the same meals or snacks from day to day, look for ways to switch them up so that you're enhancing your nutrient profile and you're bringing in more diverse foods. So simply, like one of my favorite examples is if you eat oatmeal every morning and you put the same nuts or nut butter and fruit in it every day, right? Well, then you're getting the same nutrient profile every day, and that's not a bad thing. Those are all very healthy, supportive, nutrient-dense foods. But even just mixing up what seeds or nuts you use, mixing up what fruit you use in your oatmeal, even switching up how you prepare the oatmeal, like if you're cooking it in almond milk, maybe you cook it in hemp milk to get those omega-3s, or if dairy works for you, perhaps you cook it in dairy milk in order to get that calcium and vitamin D benefit. But it's really important to look for ways to diversify your intake in order to increase nutrients to give your body all the things that it needs. There are definitely some things you want to avoid. You may already be in a good place with food relationship, and so you say to yourself, okay, now I'm going to start focusing on nutrient density. When you do that, you might then notice things feel like they're regressing or going to an unhealthy place. And some indicators of that could be if it ever starts to feel restrictive. If you ever start to say to yourself, I can only eat nutrient-dense foods. I can't eat foods that purely provide pleasure and enjoyment. Some of the foods that we look at as, not necessarily nutrient-rich are still providing value to you. If you eat a cupcake, that's a standard cupcake from any bakery, it still has protein, carbs, fat. There are still macronutrients within that snack. It is still going to provide energy to your body. It depends on how the cupcake's made. I don't know that many cupcakes have much protein, but you're certainly getting carbs and fat. And those things provide energy to your body. And that's not a bad thing. And also there's the pleasure factor, which we have to always be aware of and be willing to give ourselves pure pleasure from some of our food experiences. This is where you'll be able to establish balance for yourself. Balance in your own approach that doesn't have to look like anyone else's approach to food. If you ever feel like you're creating rules around your nutrient-dense eating choices. If you ever are saying to yourself, I can or can't eat this or that before I dance, or I shouldn't eat this on dance days, or when I have a layoff, I need to be restrictive in these ways, or, can't eat certain foods during layoff periods because I'm not dancing as much, so I don't deserve them. If any of that extreme thinking is coming in, it's going to be an indicator that you have to go back to the food relationship space and work on those things first. And this last one is a big one. Sometimes when we're focused on getting all the nutrients from our food, we forget that caloric density is also really important for dancers. If you're not consuming enough calories, even if you're consuming foods that are incredibly rich in nutrients, your body is not going to function at an optimal level. You're not going to have the energy that you need for dance. You're not going to be able to recover from the hours of work and stress that you're putting your body under. You're going to have a harder time recovering from injuries. So it's easy at times if you say, I'm going to just eat the most nourishing, nutrient-dense foods possible. Well, that might look like lots of greens and lots of vegetables. Well, those foods, because they're so rich in fiber, oftentimes rich in water, and there's a lot of volume in many of them, that can mean that you're not giving your body enough space to get all the calories that it needs. So for dancers, one of my favorite tips that I got from Marie Shosha, who's a dance dietitian, she was like, just drizzle some olive oil on all your meals. I think she said lunch and dinner, but I'm sure there are opportunities at breakfast to do that as well. Benefit to your body, obviously, in so many ways, but it's also a way for you to get in the calories that you need in a simple addition that many dancers are lacking in. Especially if you have any fear around fat, that's something to start doing, even if it's in small amounts gradually. You want to make sure that you're getting in all that you need, and dietary fat is a great way to do that. So don't let the focus on nutrient density remove the need and necessity for achieving caloric density for all the energy and performance that you're doing. Remember, calories are not bad. They are just units of energy. How beautiful is that? Obviously we want more of them. Don't get stuck in that headspace that calories are bad, because that's so much is the message that we hear and take in. And there's a lot of fear around eating adequately. I want you to focus on getting all the food that you need. And a great way to do that, caloric density with the, drizzling olive oil is one way, but sauces and seeds and nuts, all of those healthy fats, avocado-based sauces, cashew-based sauces. There are so many creative ways to get in flavor and joy and calories in good ways that your body is going to be nourished by and benefit from. Now, if you're struggling in any of these areas, if you don't feel like you're in a good place with your food relationship and it's something you're ready to work on, sign up for your complimentary coaching call. I would love to connect with you and give you some action steps to take away. If it's a good fit, we'll talk about Elite Best Body Coaching, my 6-month one-on-one coaching program for dancers. We'll talk about what that support will look like and how it can really take you to the next level in your dance journey, a place of happiness and joy in your dance journey, a place of ease and confidence in your food choices, a place of love and appreciation for your body. All kinds of good things can happen through that support that you are worthy of. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video today. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment and let me know what was your favorite takeaway. And I'll catch you next time.